Hello peoples of YouTube, my name is You Should Know Rainbow, coming back with a new and improved video. And I know I might sound a bit more awake because I took my epic nap that I told you guys I was going to take. But anyways, I was going to tell you guys I'm going to be doing a movie review / little commentary over stuff I think. Well, the movie review is over the movie The Doors by Oliver Stone. And it's about the band The Doors, led by Jim Morrison. And if you guys don't know who he is, which I bet a lot of you guys don't, but I'm just going to say right now, just in case Numb Artifact watches this video, which I know he probably will because it says The Doors, because it'll probably say The Doors on it. And I know he likes The Doors because I saw he liked a video called Light My Fire, which is one of their songs. By the way, highly recommend it. But anyways, just in case Snow and Numb watch this, which I bet they probably are, it's probably going to just, probably going to help a lot of people. Hold on, I'm going to save this lady real quick. I died. Anyways, back to the commentary. I just wanted to get over that, well, I think, in my opinion, that the movie of The Doors was a very educational film. I'm quoting Snow on this. We talked about Jim Morrison and everybody on the podcast, the Backseat Gaming Podcast, which is a podcast that I co-own along with 4 people. Mr. Soviet, Davey, my Davey, and Snowdriven. I already talked about Snowdriven. I usually call him Snow and Davey and Mr. Soviet. That's my, that's usually what they're called, but whatever. Also, Numb, if you watch this video, be sure you're going to watch this video, because this gives a lot of good stuff about the Doors on this. Really, let me just say right now, I'm a huge Doors fan. I've been obsessed with the Doors ever since I came across their music. I've been obsessed with 60s ever since I saw the Sneakos video a couple weeks ago talking about the 60s, which got me interested. So I started downloading some Beatles, Hendrix, and Doors music, and I really enjoyed it. Well, first of all, let me just get over, if you guys don't know who Jim Morrison is, as I said before, and I bet a lot of you guys don't know who he is, well, he was one of the most influential people of the 1960s. He started a band called The Doors, and of course, they were very successful for about 6 years. And of course, after Morrison's abrupt death in 1971, the three, basically, screwed without Morrison. They basically left. But anyways, back to Morrison. Morrison, very interesting person to learn about. And why I think he's very interesting, I just took a lap. Why it's very interesting to learn about Jim Morrison is that, well, Jim Morrison, in my opinion, was sort of crazy. And the movie The Doors basically documented that. And why I think it documented that is because, well, Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison was a very peculiar character, and he played him very, very well, in my opinion anyway. He played him very strangely, and he did it as well as probably the real Jim Morrison did. And I could probably tell you right now, the way Val Kilmer did it is probably why the Jim Morrison family and friends didn't like the movie. They just didn't want to see Jim Morrison acting up again, and he did it pretty good, so they basically didn't like it because they didn't like him acting up all the time. Well, it is as Snow said, very educational film, very informal film, and it talks about really Jim Morrison was a crazy guy. He was very insane, and he was a very, very peculiar person. But at the same time, he was a very smart person. He knew a lot of stuff. He read a lot. He went to UCLA, which is a college I'm not a huge fan of. Like, their football team, they're okay. They're very good right now. But, aside from that, yeah, they went to UCLA, and I'll give them props because they had Jim Morrison with them. And a lot of Jim Morrison's songs were influenced by psychedelic drugs. And, that's basically what I think kind of led to his death. But I'll get to that in a minute. But Val Kilmer's performance as Jim Morrison is very closely accurate to the real person. And why I say that is that, well, Jim Morrison was a very peculiar person, as I've said a couple times. And also, I really wanted to know is that, why was Jim Morrison so crazy? I know where he came from and everything, but there's no really modus operandi to why he acted the way he did. Maybe it was just the way he worked. You never know. The movie never quite explains. But it does explain that he was a very insane person. And he was very, very peculiar on stage. And he did a lot of things that no one has ever done before. Such as showing his penis on stage. And a lot of other mumbo-jumbo that a lot of people probably wouldn't understand. But, yes, he talked about a lot of stuff. Sparked fights with fans, like I said in the podcast. But really, I'm just going to say, if Jimi Hendrix had enough self-control to go to Woodstock, then I think Jim Morrison may have needed some help. But anyways, back to that. He wasn't invited to Woodstock, by the way, if a lot of you guys are wondering. And if you don't know what Woodstock is one of the most influential music things that's ever been in American history. Or one of the most influential musical festivals in American history. And why they call it that? There is so much music that was never used in the history of America or in the history of the world that people hadn't seen before. Even the Beatles did drugs. Like, Jesus, people. Like, come on. But anyways, back to the Doors movie. What really hard-hitted me, and the only criticism I have for the movie is Val Kilmer in the movie as Jim Morrison looks like the entire time he has no idea what the heck he's doing there or why he's even there. It's kind of stupid. And why I think it's kind of stupid is because, well, I don't know how to describe it, actually. That's kind of what he was like in real life, too. Like, I've seen many of his interviews. He acted the exact same way as Jim Morrison actually did. But what really got me is that many of the fans and the people who watched it who knew Jim Morrison actually denied that's what he was They said that was the half story of what he was like. But here's really what got to me the whole movie. His death. Jim Morrison died the day before July the 4th, Independence Day, at the age of 27. Very big shock, right? But anyways, what really got me was his death was expected, but then again, it wasn't expected. It wasn't expected, and it was expected because, well, it was a very strange death. And, well, it was very common of people to die of drugs, knowing that Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin died months before. And Jim Morrison dying the same way, or similar way, is probably not a surprise. But really what I wanted to get was, why did he die? They never really confirmed that why he mysteriously died the way he did. In my opinion, it was expected that he would die that way, but he could have died a different way, and he could have lived longer. But, in my opinion, he would not have lived long anyway, because the amounts of drugs and the amounts of alcohol, as shown in the movie he did, was skyrocketing, and it could have killed him each night, but, And what gets me is the 27 Club myth. I'm not getting into that. Me personally, I don't believe in the 27 Club. But what gets me is that many, many people had died at 27. Such as Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Mr. Mojo Rising, also known as Jim Morrison. And, well, another person I don't like to mention, Robert Johnson. And also, if you don't know who Robert Johnson is, he was a rhythm and blues. He was a rhythm and blues guy who apparently, and I don't really like talking about this stuff, apparently he claimed he sold his soul to the devil for rock and roll. But that's a myth, and I love learning about myths, but the 27 Club is more interesting. Before he died at a mysterious age of 27. Very strange death. But really what I wanted to get is that 27. Very strange number to die at. And, well, the movie ends and he still has that stupid look on his face. He dies, okay, And here's the worst part. Here's also what I didn't like about the movie. Meg Ryan played Pamela Courson. And what's strange about Pamela Courson, she died as well 3 years later at the same, well, actually not the same place, at the same age as Jim Morrison, and she died the same exact way he did. Coincidence? Was it a group of people who kill people when they're 27? I don't know. But what I do know is it a curse? Like, I don't know what it is. But it's a very strange phenomenon that happened. And the only recent person I can think of that went to the 27 Club is Miss Amy Winehouse. And why I really like Amy Winehouse is she shows some appreciation to one of my favorite singers, Frank Sinatra. She even named her first album after him. Much love to Amy Winehouse. But anyways, let me just say right now, deaths like how Jim Morrison, Mr. Mojo Rising, died was not, it wasn't, but it was common back in that time. It was the 1970s, and people were pretty crazy back then. So I'm just going to say right now, people, again, I don't believe in the 27 Club, but I think it's strange. I think it's strange people died at 27. And this, I told you guys this would be more than a movie review. This would be a commentary about the 27 Club as well. But let me just say about the movie, I do give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10 is that, well, Val Kilmer, man, he did well, but, just the look on his face the whole time is what bothered me so much. And I bet you're like, why does it bother you so much? Well, if you talk to a guy and he looked like that the whole time, it would get pretty old. Pretty fast. It would get old kind of fast. I'm pretty sure. But, whatever. People enjoy their moments. But, people have their moments. But, he did this all the time. And, I've seen his interviews. I've seen interviews with Jim Morrison. And he looked exactly like that. So, that look on his face had a part to the movie. So it's not just that, a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, well, I bet you're just pissed off, cause, yeah. No, not really. I'm not, I would like to see how this worked, but I can't. Also, Jim Morrison was also kicked off the Ed Sullivan Show because he said the original lyric of Light My Fire, girl, I forgot what it was, but it had to do with getting high on drugs. So they thought it was weird. So apparently, they kicked him off the show when he sang the original lyric. Which also cost him not an invite to Woodstock. But, yeah, here's what really got me. You invite Jimi Hendrix to Woodstock, and he was probably just as insane as Jim Morrison was, but you don't invite Jim Morrison? That's a facepalm right there, guys. That's a really weird facepalm, actually. I've been running around this whole commentary. Let's get some people going here. Yeah, there we go. But, anyways, I guess that's the commentary for now, but my name's been Rambo. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this movie review / commentary over this subject I wanted to talk about. And also, I just wanted to say, well, what did you guys think of the commentary? Do you want me to do any more of these? Because I've been trying to set my resolution on YouTube as I really wanted to post videos of commentaries that you guys can suggest. Well, at least if it's something interesting and not one of your, personal problems that, doesn't really matter and I wouldn't really like to talk about, say something interesting. Tell me a commentary subject that I would like to talk about. So I'd like some feedback, please. Anyways, my name's Rambo. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. And, well, I'll see you guys next time. My name's Rambo, and also R.I.P. Mr. Mojo Rising. And also, if anyone from the Doors movie is watching this, I loved your movie. Make sure Val Kilmer does very great more biopic roles. So he played Jim Morrison very good. But anyways, R.I.P. Mr. Jim Morrison. But anyways, it's not his death or it's not his birthday. In fact, he died the same... Actually, he was born the same day that John Lennon died. So yeah, Very sad. But it was a couple of years after he died, so I mean, you know, it's okay. But I guess it's not okay at the same time. But anyways. My name's been Rambo. Talk to you guys later. I'll talk to you guys later. Blah, blah. You guys know